You are listening to Thank Me for My Cervix, a podcast where we talk about all things mental health with a focus in the veteran and the military community. I'm your host. That's my dog. I have a hound dog outside. It's 9. It's probably about time. He's going to come in right after this live, I promise. But, oh no. Hold on. I'm actually going to text. Let me go in. Okay. So this is Thank Me for My Cervix. I'm sorry about that. I'm really excited because I have actually been doing a lot of planning for this. And I'm in touch with a bunch of people that I'm trying to get on for interviews because I want some more information for us. So I have been doing a bunch of research of my own and reaching out. So I have come up with this 7-day mental health detox. It gives us an opportunity for you guys to see my mental state and for you guys to talk to me about your mental state. And it forces us to talk about it. And you guys can either listen to me talk about mine or share. And that's what I want this platform for. So this specific episode, you'll see the post that I made. It is like a 7-day detox that we'll be doing. This specific episode is going to be more based on the specific discussion of mental health. Like, what is it? Why is everyone so concerned about it? And the differences between having a mental health illness or just the condition of a mental health. And then there are ways that we can combat that. And I have made it organized for us. So I'm going to go through it. And I'm super excited. Okay, yeah, the dog's inside. All right, so let's go ahead and just jump right into it. And if you are here and you're watching and listening, please tell me how your week is going. I do really genuinely want everyone to feel like they can tell me about what's going on and us talking because I'm here to listen as much as I'm here to talk your ear off. So I can do both. So mental health. When I was doing a bunch of research for mental health, it's going great. That's so good. I'm so glad. When I was doing a bunch of research, the main difference between someone having a mental illness and the condition of a mental health is purely their well-being. So when you're talking about your mental health, it's your state of productivity and your state of contributions to life and society. So when we're like, oh, how's your mental health doing? When someone asks you that specific question, what they're really asking is, how are you able to function around in a normal society every day, right? Because when you think like, man, I'm not doing too good, or when I feel like I have a bad mental health day, I maybe did not get as much done as I wanted to accomplish that day. Or I feel like, especially in the society that we're in, we have so much that we all want to get done and accomplish. And it feels like that's like a load on us. And that's kind of where the anxiety and depressions come into play most often when we speak about mental health, right? Because that's the most common ways that people feel it. It's a very common feeling. And until recently, that's me every day. Until recently, do you know that it is not normal to constantly feel anxious and anxiety? Like, I was talking to my therapist and I told them that I constantly have this overwhelming feeling that something's going to go wrong, and for no reason, right? Because like why do I feel that way? Why is my instincts, why do I naturally feel like something's going to have to go wrong? And that is a trauma response. And that's, if growing up, something that we were taught was if something's going to go wrong, it will, right? That's kind of, I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of the mentality that has kind of always been drilled into us is, you kind of got to always be on the lookout. And especially, the military background in us, you're taught these different scenarios of when you need to pay attention. Something bad can always happen. And that feeling that you have in those scenarios can be applied to multiple situations. And it's even like, just the best way that I can put this as far as the anxiety and depression, like at work scenarios, is like my boss. I have this overwhelming amount of pressure to want to make my boss proud. And that's just because of maybe the way that I was raised. The military definitely helped with that too, because it's honor, right? That's like the core of it. So the biggest fear is like letting them down, right? I feel like that's a very common anxiety comes from that. I remember even growing up, I remember the discussion of anxiety and depression and me I would think that those people who would talk about it the most were weak, right? Like, oh, I don't even understand how you can let your anxiety affect you. Just get stuff done. And what I have come to realize as I get older is that anxiety is not always necessarily a bad thing. And your mindset is how you can use to manipulate that, because your brain, the brain response for being anxious, that feeling is also, the chemical release is very similar to excitement, right? So we're very excited. And if you can use that energy to perform better in all of those day-to-day scenarios, that's how you can use what may be a crippling issue, right? Anxiety. It's crippling. It stinks. And it's not fun. And in some cases, no matter what you do, unless you're on medication or you can't, that's when it becomes a mental illness, right? When you need a medication, no matter what you're doing your best, but it's like you are constantly anxious. You can talk to a doctor. Seriously, you should not feel that way. I do feel that way. And I have tried different medications, and I have also come to learn that I'm an emotional person. I'm very passionate. Always have been, very vocal, you guys know this by now. And it's such a fine line of when you're trying to figure out maybe medications that might work for you, to not dull that, because I don't want my personality to be dulled. I don't want to lose certain factors. I just don't want to feel that way, right? So that's kind of when it comes into taking care of your mental health. And that's when we'll get to the SCORA, because those are the ways that you do it. But by taking care of those is how you can suppress those. But the mental illness portion is when you need to speak to a doctor. And there's no harm in doing that. But let's talk about other mental health factors that aren't necessarily illnesses, but that can play a role in your mental health. So we talked about anxiety and depression. We'll also talk about like substance abuse. Obviously, we've talked about alcohol, kava, marijuana. It's just being familiar with how different drugs can affect your mental state and understanding your own space, right? So there is nothing across the board for this. There's nothing to teach about this because it is so different from person to person. And it's really just kind of about knowing yourself and knowing your reasons behind whatever it is you're doing. Like, for example, I think everybody is well known that I am a pothead. Whatever. And I have come to find, though, that there's a line that can increase my anxiety if I am doing it too much, or, and it's about learning that. And I have found that the way that I feel the next morning after alcohol, is I don't get enough benefits from how I feel drinking alcohol to make it worth it the next morning. So that's why I don't. But okay, this next one for the mental health, but it leads closely to mental illness if not taken care of properly, is trauma recovery. Because I have the comment I want to read. Smart to set up a safe space with people you trust to try new methods while determining what works. Oh, I love that. That's such a good point. That's such a good idea. Yes. The people in your life are so important. It's so important. And safe space in general is it's so important for growth, for every aspect. Your safety, your family and your safety should be always priority. And I will forever stress that. Okay, I'm sorry. Trauma recovery. Thank you for adding that. I really appreciate that. Trauma recovery is, I feel almost hypocritical when it comes time to talk about this stuff, because trauma recovery, there's so many ways to go about it. And I strongly suggest, if you have experienced trauma, which everybody has to an extent, right? Talk to somebody. And it doesn't have to be a professional. It could be someone that you genuinely trust. It could be someone that you relate to. I don't care. It's just important to talk. I've found that a lot of times people in trauma situations that need to talk about it, can go to instructors that they've reached out to in the past. You can talk to doctors that you had close relationships with. I'm just trying to think of good people to reach out to. Trauma recovery, building a strong box, and a good lock. Okay. I agree. I feel like there is, why is my voice doing this to me? I'm not sad. I mean, I get emotional, but I'm not as emotional as my voice is making me sound. But, locking trauma away. I understand that method. I can understand the logic behind wanting to do that. Because that's what I have done, honestly. And I kid. But see, I understand how that can be maybe the route that someone would want to take, especially, I'm so sorry, my voice. When it comes to things like sexual trauma or even child abuse, anything like that. Let me get my water, you guys, because otherwise you're just not going to be able to understand me at all. Look at me. I had a cup of water ready. I know someone in there's going to be proud of me. Okay. Trauma recovery, healing in the end. It took me a long time. And how you heal is always going to be person dependent. Because, I know you are. Because, man, am I so hypocritical? I have not completely gone for my trauma. And I'm not going to sit here in front of you guys and act like I'm some sort of, I'm talking to you guys about mental health to keep mine there too. I feel so great and happy, but I have been to a point where I did not feel so great and happy. And I felt very alone. And I was like, when I finally got better is literally when I started my podcast. 200%. This is exactly how I was like, you know what? I don't even, because I listen to podcasts about like sex and mysteries and murders. And I was like, who's going to want to listen to me? And you know what? It doesn't even matter because this has helped me too. And I know that my initial goal was to try to help as many people as possible. But us getting on here and talking has really even made me realize that I still have more work to do, even though I'm happy. And that's okay. It's okay to acknowledge where you are, and realize that maybe you still have more work to do. So when it comes to trauma recovery, I'm not going to try to get on a soapbox about it because I don't have enough knowledge to share with you on that. And I think that would be a disservice. But it's something to keep in mind when talking about your mental health, for yourself. And that's all we need to know on that. Another huge mental health factor that people, yes, thank you. Another huge thing that people don't realize is how much they sleep. And I feel like every class I've been to, especially in the military, they talk about the importance of sleep. Hold on, let me read your comments so I won't move on. Being able to acknowledge the growth that needs to happen is key. Yes. He said, being able to acknowledge, she said, Megan, hi Megan! Being able to acknowledge the growth that needs to happen is key for continuing the journey. And that is so true. And I love that. Thank you. So sleep disorders. Again, something to talk to a doctor about because there's ways to help. And getting into a routine, there's so much you could do for sleep. If you're not, hey babe, so sleep is like key factor in mental health, and it's underspoken because people will be like, oh, well, did you drink water? Did you do all this? It's really, did you get at least 7 hours of sleep? I'm so sorry. That water, something's happening to my voice, and now that water is making me burp. It's fine. No, this is so hypocritical too, but you're not supposed to have a TV on when you sleep. Your girl likes a little bit of background noise. And, white noise is supposed to be really good too. Oh, okay, hold on, wait. More comments, and I love this. Adolerian? Is that how you'd say that? I'm sorry if I jacked that up. Psychology is a very interesting take on trauma and relationships with other people. Definitely worth checking out. Awesome. I'm literally going to write that down, and I'll spell it for my listeners that didn't get to watch this. So it's ADLERAIN. Psychology. Okay. It's an interesting take on trauma and responses of the people. And I love that. That is actually, this just came out of my hair. What is that even? Okay, that's fine. I just started like a relationship therapy thing, and it's nothing's happened yet, so we're not even going to talk about it. Okay. Pain management. Another very underrated. If you're in pain, your mental health is going to suffer. Oh, I love this. Tell me about how you guys sleep. I listen to frequency specific music with a black girl. I bet you get some bomb ass sleep. Well, anyone who knows me knows that like Ink Masters is always on, or Survivor. I do try to wake up and turn it off, but that is not the point. Anyway, you should. I have 2 phones and both of them go on the night modes. I'm sorry, my friends and family that try to get a hold of me, at nighttime. I'm not sorry. It's late. It's whatever. But you should like put your phones down. Everyone gets so mad for me for not answering my phone sometimes, but like y'all need to stop answering your phones. You need to stop. But for real, I feel like after 10, you know what's funny? I just thought of something. I was on another podcast one time. Oh my God, I'm having like a flashback. Where we were talking about red flags for men, and I just had like literally a flashback. And one of the red flags was like if he doesn't text back after 10, and I literally just told you guys to not text back after 10. Gosh, no wonder guys have no freaking idea what to do. Oh man, poor men. Oh. Anyway, don't text after 10. I can see how it's a red flag, too. Just, I don't know. Follow your gut. I honestly, genuinely feel bad for you. Okay, I feel bad for men, but I also feel bad for lesbian women because it's an equal thing, and we even have less of it. There's less of a chance for us too, because what's the chances of a girl being gay? It's way less. Way less. So just think about the lesbians when you are worried about hitting on women. Okay, anyway. Okay, and the last category to talk about mental health, but not the illness portion, would be grief. Which can all of these can turn into severe an illness. So that's the difference that we were going to talk about. Mental health is your current state, your condition. Are you able to work? And then are you work? Are you able to exist? Are you able, what's the word that they use? Productivity. Once you are getting to a point where your productivity is being affected, you may have a mental illness that you need to speak to someone about. And if you don't want to speak to a professional right away, reach out to someone that you trust. And, if they feel like they need to, maybe they can, whatever. Just reach out, even if it's to me. All right. Now I have another comment. I firmly believe that everyone having almost full access to each other 24/7 is unnatural. I respond when I want to, and I get on social media as I want to. The least I'm holding my phone. I completely agree. I have 2 phones, and I lose them constantly. And anyway, now people even have, the Apple Watches. And, they're someone at work was I know he's wearing his Apple Watch, so I know he saw my text message. I'm maybe he's doing something. Okay. But yeah, okay, so grief. This grief is a own thing. Please handle your grief. Just take care of yourself. It's for you. It's for you. I think it adds. I agree. It's kind of crazy because I do also feel our phones can connect us so well too, right? You and I, did we go to boot camp together? Were we in boot camp together, Megan? we can keep in touch. It's just an example, right? There's tons of beautiful women and men, obviously. Beautiful men. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. That you can keep in touch with, right? Through the touch, this little box right here. But then it's also like sucking, like soul sucking. Like, how much does this actually matter? And what sucks is, let's say something did happen, like, Instagram completely went gone. Like, everything that I had worked for mental health, the platform that I had provided for what I want to do would be gone. So it's a give and take. I honestly think we were just, nice, dude. All the people in my life run together. I'm sorry, but that's super awesome. EOD wives. Oh gosh, yeah. We don't talk about the LuLaRoe days. Damn, we've been friends for a while then, though. Aw, I love you so much. Thanks for still being here. That's so awesome. Oh gosh, LuLaRoe. Okay, anyway. So now we're going to talk about... I hear a kid yelling. My little SCORA, an acronym that I came up with, because I wanted an easy way to remember the 5 most important things you need for your mental health. I knew I loved you then. I love you. Thank you so much. Okay. So are you ready for my acronym? Wait, where did I put it? Oh, I found it. Okay. That's wrong. I put it all out of order right there. Okay. So SCORA is, you're going to spell that SCORA. Sleep. Create. Outdoors. That is so important, and I will get into a little bit of science behind the outdoors things. I might need to cite some stuff though if I'm going to be doing this to y'all, but okay. And then R is relationships, and then A is activity. What did I? Okay, so sleep. Kind of already talked about that. Super important. You should be trying to get 8 hours, and that's undisrupted, no blue light. Like, it's something about the blue light can reactivate parts of your brain that will prevent you from sleeping. And that is there's actual science and reason behind why you shouldn't look at your phone or have the TV on unless there's a blue light screen or whatever. Also, total side note, if you have a sleep paralysis issue, that's what it's called, right? When you wake up but you can't move. Anyway, blue light's supposed to increase that. So say you have a blue light on your TV, or there's an ambient blue light radiating from somewhere in your house, that can, if you're having sleep paralysis issues, that can play a role. That was just a random fact that I found through my information. I actually have tons of those. If you ever want more, let me know. Okay. So create is going to be so SCORA, sleep, create. And this can be anything. Just, you need to create something. And, okay, so say you're not creative. Just, you have to do something that you enjoy. So for my military members, if you like shooting, that is such a great, I know it's not creative, you wouldn't think, but it's using an ability that we have to go be good at something. And I know that sounds so silly, but it's using a skill set that you have that you're good at. And that gives you some sort of happiness. Golf, that's a great example. Batting cages. I'm trying to think of some more. I would say bowling, but everyone kind of just sucks at bowling. Or you're really good and no one wants to play with you anyway. Well, let's see. Me, I paint. Music is a great thing. I'm trying to think of even more options. It's just create. You need to have... Humans are rare in the way that we can create things from nothing. And we can go do things, right? And being able to do that helps with your mental health. And it's just something that you should have, things that you enjoy doing. Okay. Oh, outside. I wish I had the thing up. But you're supposed to go outside barefoot for at least 30 minutes every day. 30 minutes. I don't know. Walk your dog barefoot. Apparently, ew, my voice made that whiny nasally sound. Apparently, your body, where are like these electrical charges, right? And you have all of these currents running through your body. When we put our bare feet on the earth's surface, it grounds us. And there has been some studies done that shows that grounding for 30 minutes has significant mental health benefits. I don't know if it's like a chemical thing, if it's because of the electrons in our body. I don't know. But 30 minutes a day contact with the earth. It sounds great. And, I feel like we can implement this in like workplaces if we needed to. Mental health. So, okay. So 30 minutes. Barefoot, or I guess just bare contact with the earth. Regrounding yourself. Relationships. Self-explanatory. Ground touching is great. Ground touching is great. I love that. I hope the sand counts because I'm barefoot in the sand all the time. And then I'm like, it has to count. It has to count. I've been told 10 minutes of natural sunlight when you wake up. I bet. Little vitamin D. Vitamin? Yeah. That's a great idea. So sun and earth touching, ground touching and sunlight. Outside. It's actually kind of weird that humans just live in boxes all day and work in boxes. But don't let me get on that soapbox. All right. Okay. Then the R's relationships. It's, human connection. It's what we're here for. It's really all that matters. And if you feel alone, you're not. You're not. A lot of people feel alone. Sometimes you have people, and don't hesitate to reach out. All right, and then the last one is active. That kind of goes along with being creative. Create if your if your creativeness is active. I don't know what I meant by that, but if your creative is also action, just be active. Get your body moving for for many reasons. Obviously, the physical benefits, look sexy, feel sexy, but okay. All right. That was for day 1. How long was that? 26 minutes. It was like 30 minutes. That actually wasn't bad. What do we think? That was day 1. It was literally just talking about, so today's was just like a mental health discussion, a little tidbit. And then tomorrow's resources and not tomorrow. It's not tomorrow. It's next Thursday. Oh, I'm getting a guest though. Oh, before you guys go. If you know anyone who would be an excellent guest for any of the topics this week, just be like, hey, I know this kind of hot girl with tattoos who like talks about her feelings and shit, and she needs some other people to talk about their feelings and shit. I would love anyone from the VA. I would love, and look, if you feel like you have something helpful to say to anyone that's struggling, please just join me. But yeah, so May 23rd is resources and support. So I'm going to have a lot of information. If you're watching this and you're like, oh, I know a crap ton of research and support, you should DM me. I did not, I'm not a hot chick. Great. So yeah, if you guys know any resources or support to add to next Thursday's live, my inboxes are open. Thank you guys as always. And, I keep forgetting stuff that I need to add. So I was a lazy piece of buns and I did not put the audio from my last 2 lives on Spotify right away. And I don't know if I can now. And I'm super bummed, super upset about it because it was such good episodes. But they're still up on Instagram Live. So if you are a normal Spotify listener and you been waiting for my 2 most recent episodes, they may not be here. And I'm so sad. But I will keep them pinned in my bio at the top just so that you guys can find them for the next 2 weeks. And I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going to get this one on as soon as possible so it doesn't happen again. Okay? All right. I love you guys. Bye.